Thanks again for tuning into yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast yet again, San Jose, California. So here we are enjoying another beautiful day here in the Bay Area. Summertime, of course. It's been a little warm, but today is actually pretty good. We just went through a heat wave. We're still in the 90s, not bad at all, especially when you have these cooling sleeves. You know, it's not bad at all. Even with the full face helmet and everything, and a full frame mounted fairing. So anyways, getting on to, of course, the topic of today's video. I have now had this 4.5 gallon tank on my Sportster for what I believe is probably 2 years now, or I'm going on 2 years. I believe I've had it for 2 years now. So maybe you're out there considering getting a bigger fuel tank. You know, moving up to a 4.5, you probably have a 3.3 or maybe a, 3.3, 3.5 fuel tank. You want a little bit more capacity, a little bit more range out of your rides. So this is just me, you know, sharing my thoughts on it after owning it for 2 years. So I would say completely depends on your setup. All right, that's number one. Do you have a full fairing? Do you have a windshield? Do you plan on putting on a fairing? Do you plan on installing a windshield on your Sportster? That is my main question. All right, because riding, of course, my Sportster without any wind protection, you welcome the stops, the fuel stops. All right. You 100% are looking to take breaks, depending on how old you are. All right, if you're up there like myself, I'm on the top 30s, near 40s. You start to get some aches and pains. Of course, the wind's beating you. You're riding long range, stuff like that. You're looking for gas stations. All right. When I was doing it on this one, of course, I would welcome the gas stations about every 80 miles or so with the smaller fuel tank. And then on top of that, once I did arrive to my fuel stop, I would wait about 20 minutes, just take a rest, relax. The wind and especially where you're riding, depending on where you're located. Highway 5, there's a lot of high winds, and it's it takes a toll on you. So I would say if you're in the market to add some wind protection on top of going up on the fuel capacity, then do it. If you're planning on going up to a 4.5 gallon tank and not add any wind protection, you're still going to be looking for rest stops. Could you push yourself up there? Yes, you can. Could you push yourself to ride an additional potentially 60 miles without stopping? You can. You could do it. I'm not saying you can, but being older, you're gonna look for rest stops. That's the number one. Number two, for some reason on my bike, because of the ride height on my Sportster, I believe I have a 31-inch seat height. I believe I have 14.5 shocks on my Roadster. It's a taller suspension on the rear. Something's going on. Even though I have a 4.5 gallon fuel tank or a 4.5 gallon capacity, meaning that I should be able to get quite a bit of range out of this, for some reason I'm not getting it. And I believe it's because of the seat height, or because of the angle of my bike. Because I have such a tall suspension in the rear, I believe the fuel tank is almost leveling out. So from just riding, like I said, the last 2 years, I have noticed once I go past 3 gallons of fuel consumption, my bike starts to stutter. It's mainly when I'm riding aggressive. Mainly when I'm riding aggressive, when I'm really, getting on the bike, that's when I start noticing the engine sputter and it just wants to stall out, because I'm guessing it's being starved of fuel because of the gravity or whatever that's happening. I also notice when I'm leaning tight right, is it? Yeah, when I'm leaning tight right, we're talking, you know, maximum potential lean angle on the right, the engine also starts to sputter and it wants to stall. And that's pretty dangerous, because if you're going at a high rate of speed and you're leaning right, if you decelerate, the bike wants to pick back up, which, like I said, it's dangerous if you're going, you know, if you're going in a tight turn at a high rate of speed and your engine starts to stall, your bike stands back up. It's very dangerous. So I'm guessing, like I said, this is only noticeable once I go above 3 gallons of fuel consumption. So technically I'm not even really getting the full benefits out of the 4.5 gallon tank that I have. I could probably push it, meaning that after 3 gallons of fuel consumption, I would just have to be a little bit more conservative when I'm riding. That way it's not sputtering and stalling. I mean, it doesn't stall completely, but you can really feel the engine being starved of engine. And it just sucks because I have, of course, the 4.5 gallon tank, and I find myself filling up every 3 gallons anyways. So it just, like I said, it sucks. As long as I keep it, like I said, as long as I ride a little bit more conservative after the 3 gallons, it's not that noticeable. But you know, regardless, if you're leaning in a tight corner, you know, going right, the engine starts to sputter. Maybe you're considering it. I would say, if you have if you have wind protection or decent amount of wind protection with the windshield or frame, probably consider going with the 4.5. If you're someone that's riding long range with friends and you want to keep up with you know, with the group or something, maybe you're out riding with the group. If you want to keep up with the group, I would say probably consider going with the 4.5 gallon tank, or altogether just get a bigger bike. Get a full frame big V twin, because those have, you know, a 6-speed transmission, and they also have a larger fuel capacity. They have a 5 gallon tank, unless you have a street bob, which is, or a standard you know, a soft tail, then you have a 3.5 gallon tank, which unfortunately the only way to get more range is to get a bigger fuel tank. But you can find them, you know, on eBay for a decent price. I'd say probably 300 bucks, maybe if you're lucky $300. Most of them, if you want them, you know, painted and all that other stuff, you're probably looking at about 500 to 600 bucks for the fuel tank. So then, anyways, going on to, of course, the fuel consumption, and you know, my Sportster's geared out. All right, it's fully loaded. I got a frame mounted fairing. I got saddlebags, so I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up. Maybe if I stand up, you can see them right there. I got saddlebags. And you guys are probably wondering, what is the fuel range on a Sportster, on a 1200 Sportster, fuel injected? What is the miles per gallon out of my thing with all the extra weight? The saddlebags with the hardware, you're looking at well, how much was it? I calculated everything. I believe it's 11 pounds with the saddlebags. If I have the canvas, the ballistic nylon canvas saddlebags, those are 3 pounds. So I have 10 pounds or 11 pounds on the saddlebags. I have 5 pounds on the LP6, so that's 15 pounds already. I believe the fairing and the bracket itself, I believe that comes in somewhere around, I mean, I'm just saying at the high end, probably about 20 pounds. So altogether, what is that? 20 plus, what did I say? 15, 16. So, you know what? Let's just round it up. Altogether, fairing, saddlebags, I'm looking at somewhere around 40 pounds on top of my little little Sportster, which is pretty heavy. 40 pounds is quite a bit. That is a lot of weight. So you're probably wondering, how much is that, or how bad is that affecting my fuel range? So I've calculated it. I've ran the numbers, because like I said, I've been doing, I've just been calculating this stuff, because fuel here in California, you're looking at what, $6 a gallon. And you know, it's very important to me, because I ride this on a daily. It's my commuter, and I'm just wondering, how much is it costing me to ride my bike? Not, you know, not calculating, of course, my tax, which is $300 per bike, and then my insurance. Recently, you know, Geico wanted $1,300 bucks. I'm not going to get into that. I have a whole video on that. But as far as miles per gallon on the Sportster with the saddlebags and the fairing, sorry if I'm rambling, I am at somewhere around 30. I'm close to 36 miles per gallon. City, all right, that's city, guys. City, 36 miles per gallon. You know, it's like 35.7 or something like that. 35.7. So I'm just rounding it up to 36 miles per gallon city. Highway, I am somewhere around 45 miles per gallon on highway. So in case you guys are wondering, that's pretty good. That's pretty decent. You guys could share your comments down below. Let me know what you believe is your miles per gallon on your bike, or if you have a sporty. I say that's pretty good, considering my my lowrider S, my stage 2 lowrider S gets about 25 city and about 33, yeah, I'd say 33, 34 highway. That's a huge difference between this and my 2020 lowrider S with the stage 2. That's a significant difference. Once you add it up, you know, 5 gallons. Compare this to my lowrider S, I'm losing out at about, you know, 50 miles per gallon. And like I mentioned, if I'm riding conservatively, I can really push this out to potentially utilizing maybe about 3.5 to 4 gallons out of this tank. So maybe my next project is to probably add a tank lift and see if that, you know, extends my ride time. Because, you know, stopping, like I said, it's not that bad. 3 gallons at about 35, 34, 35, 36 miles per gallon, depending on how I'm riding. Most of this, of course, the 35, 36 miles per gallon, I am riding like a jackass. All right, I am getting on the bike, I am pushing the bike, all right, I am beating up on the bike at 36 miles per gallon. So if I were to, you know, ride a little bit more conservative, you know, a little bit lighter on the wrist, maybe I could probably, you know, push that up to probably, you know, maybe 38 miles per gallon if I take it easy on the bike. But I'm not doing that. Like I said, most of the city riding, I'm riding like a jackass, and heavy, you know, heavy on the throttle. 36 miles per gallon is pretty good. On the lowrider S, however, riding conservative, riding slow, I'm doing about 25 miles per gallon, which is pretty bad, you know, in my opinion. I don't know, it's just, it adds up. You're paying $6 a gallon, it gets expensive. So anyways, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in to yet another video. Hopefully this video helped you. Maybe you're considering doing a full build like myself. I already made a video on why you shouldn't do it, but hey, maybe we'll discuss that in another video, why everybody hates this bike. All right, life's a risk, get out there and ride. Later.